Where do I even begin? Hello, this is my first time doing anime episode reviews, so like I mentioned earlier, I will be streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, but on days where I'm not streaming, let's say Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I will be uploading recorded videos. As I've been recently learning OBS, I figured that this would be the perfect opportunity for me to make anime episode reviews. I haven't uploaded these types of videos before, but I've seen these types of videos upload on YouTube, and so it's inspired me, and I think I've come a long way because I used to not like hearing my voice being recorded, but now I do. And unfortunately, I won't be starting over from the beginning in terms of my progress. I'm currently on episode 10 of My Hero Academia's final season. Yes, the final season. I remember when this anime came out in 2016, but I didn't start watching until 2018. But when I started it, I just really fell in love with how Midoriya Izuku would grow and how his love for heroes would eventually enable him to inherit One for All and to be able to make an influence to his friends. And here's our current circumstance in My Hero Academia's latest episode. The final battle is past, Shigaraki is gone, and so is All for One, the big baddie who we've been battling against all this time. And I think it gave me a lot more emotions than I expected with this episode, especially with the way they handled the aftermath of the war. Whew. Yeah, I found myself in tears because some of the moments, like when Midoriya was talking to Spinner, who's one of the League of Villains, really looked up to Shigaraki, and it showed that even though they are villains committing crimes and fighting against society, Spinner still had a bond with Shigaraki, and I just really found how Shigaraki's passing really made an impact on Spinner, and I like the contrast to when Spinner was feeling this way while Midoriya was talking to him, and the press were talking about the consequences of the villain's effect on the war, and that they need to get ready for the next threat. Yet what they don't see are the internal struggles of the villains. Yes, the villains' actions cannot be tolerated, but at least understanding them can be able to be one step towards preventative measures. And so I really like that contrast. They're not quite there yet, but the way Midoriya handled Spinner, that scene really felt very touching. But that wasn't the only thing that touched me. Like, I was really touched by how another contrast I'd like to make: during the final battle, Midoriya was up against Shigaraki, while Uraraka was against Himiko, the vampire girl, has a blood related quirk, and it came to a point where Himiko actually saved Uraraka at the cost of her own life, and it really weighed on Uraraka. And I wouldn't blame her for a war to have such a huge scale. There were losses, and Himiko's loss really affected Uraraka, and the way she was handling it, from when they were helping clean up the city to after school, it just comes to show that Uraraka is still human. And I appreciated how she and Midoriya had one final conversation by the end of the episode, and it honestly really made me tear up because she's been holding on to that pain, but we have Midoriya as a saint who gets that feeling. His feelings were able to connect with Shigaraki at the end, but at the end he wasn't able to save Shigaraki, so he can relate to how Uraraka wasn't able to save Himiko, but I'm just grateful that they were able to just talk it out. It just feels very cathartic instead of having to hold on to those feelings. Because when people hold on to these feelings of resentment or self hatred or whatever worries, And if it accumulates with other things, then it's not really healthy. And so I honestly related to how Midoriya was able to be there for Uraraka, and I just thought that was very memorable. And My Hero Academia really is one of those shows that really likes to sprinkle flashbacks with every episode. Yet, what I found this week with the way they handled the flashbacks really shows how much Midoriya and Uraraka have come a long way. And I really appreciate that about Horikoshi's storytelling. Last week we were kind of showing how Todoroki was able to talk with Toya or Dabi and reconcile with the family one last time, even though Endeavor's actions to create a new heir, he Endeavor didn't really see his children as children back then. He only saw them as heirs. But the fact that Endeavor didn't expect forgiveness, but still the family wanted to work closer a little bit together, it really shows character growth. And I really appreciate that about My Hero Academia. I really enjoyed the animation that Studio Bones had to offer for My Hero Academia. Season 5 probably didn't look the best, but honestly, I freshly remember season 6 onwards, and the quality has been honestly pretty good. The fight scenes tend to look solid, the animation feels alive, especially this episode from the way the characters' mouth movements were portrayed. They really showed emotion, they really felt alive, and honestly, I really enjoyed the opening, which was performed by Porno Graffiti. Don't let the name fool you. They're the band who did the series' first opening, and they currently do the series opening, and I'm really impressed with that. And I also like how Bump of Chicken performs the series ending theme. One thing I'd like to know is that apparently the manga sped things up a little bit in its epilogue, but I hear that the anime is slowing things down and making the epilogue breathe a little bit. I personally haven't read the manga, but I think the the way My Hero Academia's anime is turning out is beautiful. And honestly, this final season of My Hero Academia so far has made me tear up many times and has honestly looked good, especially in earlier episodes where Bakugo was up against All for One. And I really think My Hero Academia is proof that an anime can be beloved not just because of its animation, but because of its storytelling and the way that it shows that heroes aren't invulnerable. They are human. And not just that, our villains are also human too. They have things that they regret as well. And I think the moral I can take away from this story is don't let all those negative feelings hold up, but also know that you're not perfect. Anyways, I will be doing these anime reaction videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. What do you think will happen next? I'll be waiting Saturday for the 11th and final episode of the TV broadcast of My Hero Academia's final season. Well, technically, they're making a 12th episode, an OVA, which will be airing later. I don't know when that's going to be, but this Saturday is going to be the final episode of this season for now, and if you've seen the episode, tell me your favorite part in the comments. And if you're interested in seeing more of my anime episode reaction videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and follow me on Instagram. I would really appreciate that.